African Parks is a conservation NGO based out of South Africa. We currently manage 18 parks in 11 countries across the continent. And what we do is we enter into typically, on average, around 20-year-long management agreements with governments to manage their national parks and their protected areas on behalf of them. COVID and this global pandemic is having an absolutely devastating impact, around the globe and for so many people. For us across Africa, with the parks that we manage, we are definitely impacted by the global lockdown, by the complete halt to tourism. That was and is an important revenue source for us in order to be able to fund the conservation activities and measures that we undertake each and every day to support the parks. But more largely, it is an incredible important source of employment. More than 24 million people across Africa are dependent on the tourism sector for their direct employment. So the global shutdown is no question having a tremendous impact on people's livelihoods. We're very fortunate to have a diverse funding source. So we are reliant upon long-term commitments, funding partners from NGOs, from private individuals, foundations that have committed long-term to the protection of these protected areas. For us, though, for this year alone, we immediately have lost over $6 million in tourism that would have come back to fund these landscapes. So we have had to really scramble and figure out how we close that gap, and not just for this year, but for the next few years, because our anticipation is that when things do get better, tourism probably won't come back to the level that it was at the end of 2019. This is a really important moment of making it clear that we need to protect nature more than ever. And the ways to do that doesn't mean keeping people out. It means effectively managing these national and natural assets within these countries in Africa for the benefit of people and for local people and for the people who depend on these areas. Our work continues. We are serving an essential role and service to the governments in which we partner with to maintain their national parks and to protect the wildlife and to support the communities that live in and among these areas. So, our work in terms of protecting key species, elephants, rhinos, gorillas, preventing poaching, in preventing human-wildlife conflict, in potentially, moving animals to and among parks to help repopulate or rewild areas. In terms of building schools, delivering healthcare through mobile health units, all of this work is continuing. It has to continue. We're not stopping. And so the film you're about to see is about a tremendous effort that we undertook with the Malawian government to move 500 elephants across one of the smallest, most humanly inhabited areas on the continent, to essentially deliver a lifeline to these wild elephants while also revitalizing a community that would be able to depend on all the benefits